For more than 150 years, the British and their colonists in North America got along just fine. So what changed all of that? It all began with the French and Indian War, which took place in the mid-1750s. This was a war that was fought between England and France over control of the Ohio River Valley. And this was an extension of a much, much larger world war called the 7 Years' War, resulting in a British victory, allowing them to acquire a lot of new territory west of their original 13 colony, plus what has become Canada. There was a huge swelling of pride in the United Kingdom as they defeated their hated rivals, the French. However, there was also a massive increase to their national debt. The war was very expensive and more than doubled their debt from £75 million all the way up to 150, which was owed mostly to local merchants plus the country of the Netherlands. In addition to this, the British also, for the first time, housed soldiers in North America to protect their colonial interests. So the question for the British was, how are they going to pay for all of this? And the answer was, let the colonists pay. After all, the war had been fought mostly for their protection, and these new troops in North America were also there for their protection. So why not let them pay their fair share? And so the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act. The Stamp Act was the first time ever the British had directly taxed their colonists in North America. And how the Stamp Act worked was, all colonists were required to buy stamps, and this was the tax. And to prove that they had paid for the tax, essentially as a receipt, they placed these stamps on any paper products that they used. This could include legal documents, newspapers, as well as playing cards. Now, no tax is ever popular, but the British were completely unprepared for the incendiary response of the colonists. They were outraged at this tax. And all across the 13 colonies, there were riots and protests. Life-size dolls of stamp collectors were created and hung in effigy. Tax collectors themselves were directly tarred and feathered, which was a process of covering them in boiling hot tar and covering them in feathers, which was both painful and humiliating. All across the colonies, people were crying death to the Stamp Act. Now, back in England, they really couldn't understand. Why were the colonists so upset? Even with this Stamp Act, the amount of taxes paid by the colonists in North America was still substantially less than those living in England itself. So, what was the problem? To the British, the Americans were basically nothing more than whiny little babies. So that is my question to you. Why were the colonists so upset? So utilizing whatever resources you can, Due Friday is a one-paragraph explanation of why the colonists were so upset with the Stamp Act. Please come prepared with your paragraph and be ready to talk about it.